Nostalgia, a sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, typically for a period or place with happy personal associations. Nostalgia seems to follow me wherever I go. It seems like it's constantly chasing me down, just waiting for me to fall. Whether I'm on my phone or talking to my friends or just being by myself, I can't help but wish for the feeling that I had during a time where I wasn't even happy, or if I was, it's just different now. It's the same sinking feeling every time when I try to relive the moments in which I was younger and things were different. The present seems like it's never enough for me until about 6 months later when I feel nostalgic for the time that I'm in now. But why do I feel this way? Why am I constantly chasing down a feeling of a time years ago where I wouldn't even want to relive that time? Why can I never escape it? Why is it constantly around me? Why can I never get away? According to this article, in particular, nostalgia boosts self esteem or self positivity, increases meaning in life, fosters social connectedness and social support, encourages help seeking, and enhances psychological health and well being, and attenuates dysphoric states such as loneliness, boredom, stress, or death anxiety. But also in this article, it talks about, you guessed it, dopamine. Now, where have we heard that word before? Oh, yeah, dopamine addiction. Now, I've been pretty good at keeping myself off of social media for the most part. I still have TikTok. It's a whole nother story. But the reason that I keep myself off of social media is because what does it give us? A dopamine addiction. Whenever I have a nostalgic moment, it does feel like a hit of dopamine. And I feel like I've been chasing down this feeling over and over because of the exemption of social media in my life. That's why it always feels like I'm chasing it down and I constantly am looking for it because it's an addiction. I think I'm becoming addicted to nostalgia like I did with social media. I'm constantly looking for this feeling again by watching my favorite movie as a kid that my grandma had to hide from me because I was obsessed with the live action Cat in the Hat when I was like 7. But or watching back YouTube videos that I used to watch in high school to try and get that same feeling that I felt when I saw them for the first time, even though I'm not their target audience anymore. I'm an adult. Or buying a scented candle that I had in college that maybe will take me back to that time where I was absolutely miserable in college, but maybe I'll have a different feeling this time. Maybe I could go back and make it better. But that's not real. It's not real. Maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic throwing around the word addiction, but sometimes that's really how it feels. It feels like I'm constantly looking to go back to a time where I was happier or things were different or, you know, my relationship with my friends was better. But the reality is that I'm in the now, I'm in the present, and I need to focus on that. Excuse the farmer's tan. Now, like I said before, I still have TikTok despite being off of most social media. I know TikTok is social media. I'm still on it. Again, story for another time. But with that, I come across a lot of videos that are, nostalgia from the 2010s or point of view you grew up in the 2000s or and it shows a lot of childhood toys and childhood memories with a mourning dove in the background and children laughing audios and at first when I came across those videos it would be like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that toy that I had, or oh my gosh, I forgot about the feeling that I had when I went down those slides, or I forgot the sound of the mourning dove and how it felt. And then it turned more into a gut wrenching feeling of never being able to go back to that time. And you can even see it in the comments with earlier videos of nostalgia like this. You see people in the comments and they're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this toy. Oh my gosh, memory unlocked, all this stuff. And now when you see those videos, it's like, did you just twist the knife? Or why would you post this? Or stuff like that, where people are actually mourning the loss of their childhood, which I don't think is how you're supposed to feel. It reminds me of when I would watch movies as a kid where maybe the parents would go back through photo albums to show their kid pictures of them when they were just a small child, and it's looking back with fondness, and maybe sometimes a child is a little embarrassed at their baby photos or stuff like that, but now we get delivered messages on our phones where it pops up as 4 years ago today you were doing this. And for me that feeling is always like, look how happy you were then. How do you feel now? Do you feel like that now? Are you still like this? And I know maybe that's not what it's supposed to be, but that's how it feels to me. And I think there's a lot to say in that, where we're constantly being delivered things from our past that maybe we don't want to remember, or maybe we're not supposed to remember. I don't think that we're supposed to remember everything from our childhoods, remember every toy, every movie that we saw. Sure, sometimes it is fun to be like, oh my gosh, I loved that movie as a kid. I forgot that it existed. Maybe I'll rewatch it now and see what I think of it now. I think that that's okay. But when it gets to a point that we're constantly being delivered notifications on our phone from the past, and also seeing it on social media and having that feeling watching those movies back. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but I have a problem where it is so hard for me to watch new things. It feels like I constantly rewatch the shows that I've already seen and the same movies because I know that I like them. And it's not that I don't want to watch anything new. It's just maybe I'm just always looking for the comfort of knowing what's to come. And maybe it just means I'm afraid of the future and afraid to face the now. It feels like maybe this is a dopamine overload all over again. And maybe I am the only one who feels this way. I really don't know. Honestly, kind of scared to put this video out. But I don't think that we're supposed to be dwelling on the past and constantly looking at what we were doing a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago from our camera roll, and having all these pictures on us all the time. It used to be that you would just have a yearbook from your time in school, or your family would keep photo albums of you when you were a kid. And now it's all on your phone, all in one place that you can look at all the time, anytime, 24/7. And I don't know about you guys, but I find myself scrolling back and looking back on those times quite often. I think we're supposed to be able to move on and learn and grow and change and forget the past to a certain extent. And it just seems like with modern technology and social media, it's really hard to do that. And you might be watching this and you may think that I'm crazy. And maybe I am the only one that feels this way. But I cannot help but feel that there is at least one of you watching this that knows exactly what I'm talking about. I think for me, this is another one of those times, just like I've talked about with social media in the past, where I just need to be conscious about what I'm consuming and how I feel about what I'm consuming, and what I feel I want to consume. I need to be conscious about what I'm feeling while I'm feeling it so that I can catch it before I dig myself into a hole deeper than I already am, because unfortunately, I am the type of person to do that. I always go too far. So, with this, I think my next effort is trying to find ways to be more present and appreciative of the time that I have now, and also allow myself and encourage myself to grow and learn new things and change as a person, because it's okay to allow that change. You're not always going to be the person that you were when you were 17. It's okay to grow and move on and learn new things and change your opinions and change your hair and change your clothes, just like Hannah Montana says. Recognize the patterns and start the change now. And I know that that's easier said than done, but the sooner you make the change, the sooner things will change. This is not to say that it's not okay to enjoy the things that you used to enjoy and look back on how far you've come. That's not what I'm saying at all. My problem is that I go too far and I dig too deep in my camera roll or scroll too far on nostalgia TikToks, or constantly watch movies and TV shows that I used to enjoy to try and find myself and find that feeling that I had when watching them for the first time. And it's time for me to change that and start to get to know who I am now and who I could become, and allow myself to grow and change. Because at the end of the day, you're never going to go back to the past. You're always going to be in the now, and you're always going to be looking forward. Now, this kind of became a lot sappier than I anticipated it being, and maybe a little bit more personal and vulnerable. But whenever I have the urge to talk about something like this, I just feel like I have to get it out because there may be one person who feels the same. And I want them to know that they're not alone in the way that they feel. Because most of the time when I'm talking about stuff like this to my friends or someone else, I feel pretty alone. I feel pretty alone in how I feel. Because not everybody is going to get it. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing. But it just kind of makes you feel like you're maybe a little bit crazy. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. And thank you for the overwhelming support that I've been receiving. It really means so much more than any of you could ever know. You guys make me feel like I'm not alone and in the way that I think. And, it's kind of allowed me a space to be a little bit more vulnerable than I have been in the past year. So let me know what you think about nostalgia in the comments. Even if you disagree with me and think that I'm a crazy person and need to go to therapy, I will appreciate the honesty. So, yeah, thank you so much, and catch you on the flip side.